Hello, everyone. Today, we bring you a powerful story, not about a person, but about the invisible force that can completely transform your life. The power of positive thinking. Through emotion, reflection, and life-changing moments, this story will show you how your thoughts can either build you or break you. There comes a moment in life when you feel like the world is closing in, when the light in your heart begins to flicker, and your dreams feel like shadows slipping away. But what if I told you that in that very moment, you hold a secret power, a force so strong it can change your path, lift your soul, and write a whole new chapter of your life? That power is your thinking. Not just any thinking, but positive thinking. This isn't a fairy tale. This isn't magic. This is real. And today, I'm going to take you through a story. A story not about a king or a hero or a rich man, but about something greater. A silent force that lives inside you. The force that decides whether you rise or fall. Once upon a time, in a place much like the world we live in, there was a field. This field had two paths running through it. One was called fear. The other was called faith. Every day, people would walk across this field, choosing one of the two paths. Some would wander down fear, looking at the ground, shoulders heavy, eyes full of worry. Others would walk down faith, not because life was easy for them, but because they believed something good was waiting, even if they couldn't see it yet. But what really made the difference between these two groups wasn't their jobs, their money, or their luck. It was what they whispered to themselves when no one else was listening. The ones on the path of fear would say, "I can't. What if I fail? I'm not enough." The ones on faith would say, "I'll try. Something good is coming. I'll grow through this." Now, let me take you deeper. Imagine someone who wakes up every morning already tired, not just in the body, but in the spirit. The alarm clock rings. The day begins. But instead of rising with energy, they rise with doubt. Before even brushing their teeth, they've already told themselves, "Today will be hard. Nothing will go right. I'll probably mess things up." And guess what? The day listens. It follows the script they've written in their mind. Missed buses, angry bosses, forgotten tasks, sadness like a fog. But now imagine the same person, the same life, but a new thought, just one. They wake up, and before doing anything else, they whisper, "Today might surprise me. Maybe something beautiful will happen. I'm ready to find it." That one seed, a single thought, changes how they walk, how they talk, how they see the world. Suddenly, they notice a kind smile from a stranger. They solve a problem at work with calm confidence. They feel lighter, not because the world has changed, but because they have. That is the power of positive thinking. I remember a moment in my own life that nearly broke me. I had spent months working on a project. My heart, my effort, my dreams, all poured into it. But when the time came, everything fell apart. It failed. The doors I had knocked on stayed shut. The people I trusted disappeared. I sat alone in my room, hands in my hair, staring at the wall, thinking, maybe I'm just not meant for anything good. And then, a small voice inside me said something strange. It said, "But what if this is leading you somewhere better?" That voice didn't fix everything overnight, but it gave me a crack of light in the darkness. And with that light, I stood up. I tried again. I changed my approach. I believed, even if just a little. And that belief grew, day by day, like watering a seed. And slowly, my life began to shift. Not by luck, but by mindset. In the story we're following, there was a place. Let's call it the Garden of Thoughts. In this garden, every thought planted became a plant. Negative thoughts became weeds. Thick, choking, bitter weeds. Positive thoughts became flowers. Bright, strong, beautiful. Most people didn't even know they were planning anything. They just walked around saying things like, "I'm so unlucky," or "I'll never find love," or "I always mess things up." But one girl, let's call her Hope, she saw the truth. She realized that her thoughts weren't just thoughts. They were seeds. Every time she thought, "I can try again," a flower bloomed. When she thought, "I am enough," another grew. Over time, her side of the garden was full of color, joy, energy. Now she wasn't perfect. There were still weeds. Bad days came, fear still knocked. But she had learned how to pull weeds. She had learned to protect her garden. And slowly, other people noticed. They came to her and asked, "How do you stay so strong? How do you smile through pain?" And she answered, "I plant good thoughts every day, even when I don't feel like it, even when it's hard, because I know what I grow becomes my life." Let that sink in. What you grow becomes your life. You may not control the weather. You may not control others, but you do control the garden of your mind. Every thought you think is a choice, a step toward light or shadow. Think of this. When a baby learns to walk, they fall. Again, and again, and again. But do they say, "Maybe walking isn't for me"? Number, they try, because somewhere deep inside, they believe they were born to stand. And guess what? So were you. You were born to rise, to move forward, to try again. But you need to believe that, because believing changes everything. Now let's go back to the field with two paths, fear and faith. A man stood in the middle, lost, unsure. His life had been filled with mistakes, failures, pain. And he thought maybe it was too late to change, too late to dream, too late to become someone better. But then, an old man approached him, eyes full of light, voice soft but strong. "You're standing in the most powerful place of all," the old man said. "Where?" the man asked, confused. "In the space between fear and faith, in the space where you get to choose. That is where power lives." "But what if I make the wrong choice?" the man whispered. The old man smiled. "Then you learn, and you choose again." And just like that, the man stepped toward faith, not with confidence, not with certainty, but with a small thought. Maybe something good is waiting. And that thought was enough. You see, positive thinking doesn't mean you ignore reality. It means you believe you are bigger than your circumstances. It means you choose to focus on possibilities, not problems. It means you don't wait for the storm to stop. You learn how to dance in the rain. I've met people who had every reason to give up, sick, abandoned, jobless, hurt, and yet they smiled. They encouraged others. They created. They hoped. Why? Because they had trained their minds. They chose life, even in pain. They planted light, even in darkness. And that, my friend, is something you can do too. Starting today, watch your thoughts. Listen closely. Would you say those words to a friend? Would you speak that doubt to someone you love? Then why say it to yourself? Speak gently. Believe kindly. Encourage your own heart. Say it with me now, even out loud. I am enough. I can grow. This moment is not the end. Something beautiful is coming. Let those words settle. Let them become roots. Because here's the final secret. Your thoughts don't just shape your mood. They shape your choices. And your choices shape your destiny. Change your thinking, and you can change your world. So if you're hurting right now, if life feels heavy, unfair, lonely, pause, breathe, and speak one good thought. Just one. Let it lead to another, then another. Day by day, you will fall again. That's okay. But now, you'll rise faster, stronger, braver. Because now, you know the truth. The power of positive thinking is not just a lesson. It's a life. And it's yours to live.